On today's episode, we're going to talk about the 3 levels of retirement readiness. And towards the end, we're going to talk about our process we walk people through to assess their level of preparedness or concern in retirement. And that will help you determine if you need to seek help from a professional. So stick around for today's episode.
It's time for another episode of Your Retirement Elevated. Walter Storholt alongside financial advisor Scott Dugan. And good episode today because you're going to really learn something as we walk through these 3 levels of retirement readiness and help you determine if you want to go get help. Do you need to go get help with your financial plan? You're going to have some pretty good awareness of that level of help you might need by the time we get to the end of the show. So this will be great. And looking forward to what you've got for us today, Scott.
Lovely. And it is amazing, when we talk about this world of financial planning, retirement planning, getting ready to retire, there's so many facets to it. We have been doing this long enough, almost 25 years. A lot of times people don't necessarily know even the questions to ask.
Yeah.
Once they get to an advisor or professional, and even how do you determine if I need to go talk to somebody?
A lot of people assume that they're not a good fit, right?
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, there's so many things that we deal with in retirement. That's why we've got the 5 levels of retirement, planning. It's how do you have an income plan? What investments do you need? How do you reduce your taxes? How do you have a healthcare plan? How do you have a legacy and estate plan? Those are 5 big, broad topics that all need to work together. And so when we're talking about retirement readiness, it isn't just about having enough money. Well, that's important, but it's about having a plan for your life and your mindset as well. So that's what we're going to talk about. And this is an article by Fritz Gilbert, the Retirement Manifesto. So it's really talking about the 3 levels he lays out in that article, and we'll expand. And then towards the end, we're actually going to, for the first time, we're going to talk through our 1 through 10 assessment that we use when people come in and help determine, hey, should you get on our calendar? And really, let's help identify what areas you might need help on. So that I'm super excited about today.
Let's do it. So we got a little something new for everybody by the time we get to the end of the episode. So that'll be great. Well, let's work through the 3 levels first. You talked about the 5 levels. That's in the planning process. These are the 3 levels leading up to deciding, okay, let me go do this financial plan. Let me go down this road. These are the individual levels that are leading to that step.
Definitely. So level 1 is financial readiness. So that is, you run the numbers, you know what you need, and you have a plan to make it last. So if you're here, there's signs that you're going to be successful. You've calculated your income needs. You have a withdrawal strategy. You've stress tested for different market conditions. And so again, you've gone through the math of it. And a quick takeaway, financial readiness is essential, but it's just the starting line. So this is just the stepping off point to say, hey, what do I need? What are my resources? Do I have a plan of action to make sure I get that paycheck in a predictable manner so I can spend confidently?
Yeah, this is telling already. If we're talking about retirement readiness and only one of the 3 levels is financial readiness, that tells us there's certainly more to this picture.
Yes. And so level 2 is lifestyle readiness, right? And so you know what you're retiring to. Okay. Now, most people know what they're retiring from.
we know what we're running away from.
Yes. But what are you retiring to? One of my longtime clients, he and his wife came in, and they're in an interesting kind of a transition as their kids are, all, kind of empty nesting. And he is very successful career. She has been a wonderful wrangler of children, and she's been, really taking care of the house, raising the kids, done a great job. And so
that would make a great email tagline, by the way, like child wrangler or wrangler of children. I mean, that's pretty.
Could that be a personalized license plate potentially?
Yes, that'd be great.
But she is comfortable, and she's got her routine, and he's at a point where, hey, I've been in this grind, been very successful. I kind of want to maybe do something different, but there's some boxes I want to tick still in my professional life. And so we were just talking through, it's like, well, if in your daily life, in your work, what would make you want to keep doing it? And he goes, well, there's just stuff I don't want to do anymore. I said, well, have you thought about what's your plan to stop doing those things? He goes, well, that's a great point. He goes, I've never really thought. He goes, well, who's going to do them? I said, well, maybe that's it. It's not how you're going to do it. It's who's going to do that for you. So kind of the who, not how scenario. So you really thought about how you're going to spend your days in full retirement or partial retirement. And that could be you have hobbies, community involvement, volunteer interests, to kind of give your time, because now that you've got more time freed up. And really important, you've imagined what's your ideal routine. And Walter, that's one thing I can tell you that's a across the board successful retirees usually have a very solid routine. And so another couple of clients, they've flown in, they've moved to Florida. They're kind of partially retired. He's got a couple more years of partial retirement. I said, hey, how's it going? And so she's retired. She was a nurse. He's an executive. And I said, so what's it like? He goes, hey, we're morning people. He goes, I'm out the door by 5:30. He goes, I fish 5 days a week. He's got a pedal kayak. So he's pedaling out there and fishing. To come home, we hang out, sometimes, a workout, maybe a couple phone calls, and we go to lunch. And then we kind of freestyle in the evenings. It's either they've got a group of friends, they love music, they're active. So, but that foundational part of fishing, working out, doing things around the house, and that sets the stage. Get to lunchtime, have a nice lunch, relax, and then do whatever they're going to do. And so again, that routine is key. And I will tell you, when you think about this, we talked about the financial readiness part. We've had clients retire with millions of dollars, and they end up feeling aimless after a few months in retirement because they're not deriving enough value from their time spent. And so that's, again, what are you retiring to? What are you going to spend over that 2,000 hours you're going to get back? What are you going to fill them with?
That's a great point. And the two go hand in hand too. It's the, work gives us routine and the purpose. You take that out of the equation, you lose both of those things. And so think about replacing both elements. I love it's not just what are you retiring to, like how am I going to fill my time on more of the whim basis, but really getting into the nitty and gritty and what's that routine going to look like every day? Give yourself structure. Those all seem like great elements for success. So I love that.
And we're not talking about, scripting out every movement of the day.
Right.
But I'll tell you one more example.
But have I play pickleballs on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, or, whatever.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we have another client. He was an engineer. She was a nurse as well. He was an engineer. He retired later than she did, about 4 years apart. And when he retired, he still had his little desk downstairs in the basement. And so he would go down there. And by the first month or so, and remember, she'd been retired for 4 years. So she had her routine. So, and she did this impersonation of him, like him walking up the stairs, picking up, hey, what are you doing? Where are you going? Do you want me to go with you? No, I don't. Or he'd come up, hey, I'm going to go do this, and this. She's like, I don't care. Go do it. So they kind of want to, hey, let's have coffee, breakfast in the morning. Let's go our separate ways, and I'll meet you back here later. So again, having your own identity, your own routine. Yeah, some people can spend a lot of time together, and some people need more time apart. So you really need to determine what your level of need is at that point.
Yeah. Is wanting to spend all of the time together in retirement part of your goal or not? That's a legitimate conversation to have.
It is, and have it beforehand.
Right.
Having that, when you're in business, that's the thing. If we've got business owners and executives had, high, powerful positions where they planned and had meetings and had discussions, well, that doesn't necessarily transfer into our personal life.
Right. And you're meeting out when you get home sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so that leads us to level 3, that mental readiness. And so again, you're emotionally and mentally ready for that shift, right? So signs you're here. You feel peace, not panic. You've let go of your work identity. and you're excited, not anxious about the next chapter. And so we've gone through this process with clients. One client worked for the same company for 40 years, ran the IT department of an extremely large company. The math was there, the resources were there. We dialed in the plan, and we have the discussion in our planning meeting. And I get a call 2 days later because he said, "Okay, I see it. I see all the math works. It's all ready to go." And he calls. He goes, "I'm not mentally ready yet."
Okay.
So even though all of the financials were done, and what he did, it took 3 months. But he ended up burning his vacation for part of that. And he used part of that time to go in, part of the time, like 2-3 days a week. Then he'd have a vacation. And I think the last 2 weeks, he was out completely. And his last day was to return in his laptop and his badge.
So he's kind of doing like a trial run of retirement?
Yeah, to mentally shift.
Nice.
So again, what he did, he talked to other retirees. He really talked about, hey, what does this vision look like? So again, the key insight here is that mental readiness is often the hardest part and the most overlooked. And I can tell you when that switch happens, my good friend Mark and his wife Cindy, I got the most unbelievable message from them. They retired recently, and I can tell you, people are a little concerned because Mark was a very motivated, hard driving individual. Nicest guy in the world, but he was dedicated.
Sure.
And everybody's like, well, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I don't think he's going to be able to make that switch. He has probably made one of the most successful transition to retirement I've ever seen.
Wow.
Because we're getting pictures of, hey, we're out here, we're doing this, we're doing this. He goes, and we had dinner with him not too long ago. He goes, we get up, we do our stuff, we're out the door. We don't get home till 8 or 9 o'clock. He goes, we're going here, taking these trips, going to listen to this music. And it's fantastic because he has killed all 3 levels and is just living the best retirement. And that makes us feel fantastic because that's really what it's about. It's about the dollars and cents. It's about saving taxes. It's about having healthcare, all those legal documents in place. That's extremely important, but it's so you can go out and do the important things in life and not worry about all the hassle of that. That's what good planning does. And that's why we take people through, when they come in, we take them through our assessment and really assessing your level of preparedness or your level of concern. And we've got those 5 pillars, those 5 areas of retirement. It's that income, investments, tax, healthcare, and estate. And we use a 1 through 10 scale. And one thing, we don't allow 7s, Walter. Why?
I thought that was curious when you sent me this, Scott. Yeah. I was like, there's a number missing.
Yeah. 7 sitting on the fence. Either you're prepared or not. Our goal as a team of financial planners and advisors, our goal is to get our clients to an 8, 9, or 10. And so when people ask all the time, well, how do I know if I need help? How do I know if I'm prepared? This is where we start. And what we're going to do today, we've never done this on a YouTube before. We're going to walk through what does it take to be an 8, 9, or 10? So you can start to think about, where am I on this scale? So I would encourage you, screenshot this, print this out. We're going to walk through it, and that'll help you determine, do I need help? Am I prepared? You may find out, heck, we're great. If you're 8, 9s, and 10s all the way across the board, you probably don't need help. But if you're a 2, 3, 4, 5 in some of these areas, you may want to seek help. Now, we hope it's getting in our calendar, but we encourage you to get on someone's calendar to help you through these things. So what we're going to talk about, again, is what does it take to be an 8, 9, or 10? So again, think about your situation. Let me explain what it takes to be an 8, 9, or 10, and then just rank yourself.
Is your retirement strategy working as hard as you are? Get the answers you deserve with Elevated Retirement Group's information-packed toolkit. Inside, you'll get Scott's book, Exceptional Retirement, along with essential insights covering the 5 key areas of retirement planning, strategies to keep more of your hard-earned money, and how to choose your winning retirement team. Take control of your retirement today. Click the link in today's show description to claim your toolkit at no cost to you.
All right, so let's start with income planning. How do we know if we're an 8, 9, or 10? Number one, you're going to know where your money is going to come from. Right? Where is your paycheck going to come from? You understand how much of an income gap that you have, right? You know how much money you can withdraw from your savings that's going to be sustainable, which leads you to knowing how long your money might last. You're also going to know what account to withdraw from. Is it your IRA? Is it your brokerage account, your savings account, your Roth IRA? Which account? Do you need to take a little bit out of each one of those? So again, that's the withdrawal strategy. You're also going to know when is the best time to take Social Security to optimize your plan. And if you're lucky enough to have a pension, what's your best pension election option? Now, if you've got those things in order, mark yourself an 8, 9, or a 10. If not, where do you rank on that 1 through 6? All right, so just circle that, use your gut, because we're going to move on to the next one. Investments. You know your risk score, your risk number. We talk about it all the time. It's like a speed limit sign. It goes from 1 to 99. And in the world of investing, the S&P 500 is about a 74. Cash in the bank is a 1. Now, we go through a process to help determine what is your comfort level with the fluctuation of the value of your money. That's what risk is. It's like, what is that fluctuation? And once we get that speed limit sign number established, we put guardrails in place to keep you between those guardrails. And then we also need to understand, what is your appetite for risk? How are you currently invested? Is there a mismatch? I can tell you, Walter, how many times people go through this. Oh, we answered this. We're a 50 speed limit sign. Well, we analyze your portfolio. We've got a call today. Our client's an 88. Is how they're invested right now.
Okay.
Their
big
risk number
mismatch.
is a 57. They wouldn't have known that if they wouldn't have taken the step to say, hey, what is our risk number? How do we evaluate this? And you really need to understand from the investment standpoint, can you survive a major market correction like an '08? Yeah, just this week, when we're recording this, we had a major market drawdown for a week, and we had a major market upswing. We'll see how it ventures out, but it's kind of a whipsaw right now. So again, if you know all those things, you're an 8, 9, or 10. If not, you're a 1 through 6. Just mark what instinctively comes to you. Now, from a tax perspective, obviously we have a CPA firm. We prepare taxes. We do tax planning. But to be an 8, 9, or 10, you really need to make sure you've got 1 to 3 strategies in place that are going to mitigate current taxes, reduce taxes in the future, and if it's possible, eliminate taxes completely. And so again, 1 to 3 strategies would be an 8, 9, or 10. If not, 1 through 6. Healthcare, very key. Healthcare is one of those things that keeps a lot of people from retiring before 65. Why? Because they got to pay out of pocket. It can be very expensive. So being 8, 9, or 10, you would understand how healthcare will be impacted in retirement. What are your options? Understand how to solve the gap between retirement and Medicare age, if there is one. So again, if you retire at 62, you got to wait till 65 to get on the Medicare. What are you going to do for those 3 years? Are you going to be on COBRA for 18 months and then go on the exchange for 18 months? What does that look like? What's that going to cost? Is that going to be cost prohibitive? Or if we know that and you're going to retire 3 years from now, should we start funding an HSA potentially and max that out? So again, a lot of facets to it. And you're definitely clearly going to understand how IRMA works and how income impacts your Medicare premiums. Walter, a lot of folks don't even know what IRMA is. It's not a mean old aunt.
I was going to say, I don't see a lot of 10s getting marked on the healthcare side.
That's pretty common when that happens.
Yeah.
So how's IRMA, especially our higher income clients? IRMA is a big deal. And you have a plan for a major medical event like a long-term care event. If nothing else, you understand what's the economic impact. So again, if you got those covered, 8, 9, or 10, if not, 1 through 6, circle what you're comfortable with. And finally, legacy, at least a will in place, especially if you have kids under 18. have your beneficiaries updated. Your beneficiary designations are extremely important to have in check and make sure they're correct. And finally, if you do have a trust, make sure the trust is properly funded. We see it all the time because we do a legal review through our estate planning firm that's associated with us. Say, oh yeah, I got a trust 3 years ago. Okay. Did you fund that trust? Well, what do you mean? Did you change title to the appropriate assets? Did you change the beneficiaries appropriately? And a lot of times it comes back, no, we didn't do that, or we did some of it. So one step is to get the documents in place. The second step is make sure they're funded properly. And we do a beneficiary check for all of our clients on a continual basis. So again, if you've got that in place, 8, 9, or 10, if not, you're 1 through 6. So as you look back and you say, wow, here's the 5 areas. If you're an 8, 9, or 10 in all those, fantastic. Maybe you need somebody to double check it, give a second set of eyes, but you're probably in good shape. If you're in those lower numbers, 1 through 6, and it's keeping you up at night, that would be an indication that either you need to reach out to a professional or reach out to us, work with our team, get on our calendar. We'll dive into this because the next step is you've assessed yourself. Our first step is to give our professional assessment. Because what we find sometimes is you may say, oh, we think we're a 4 or 5. You're actually an 8 or a 9. And what that does is give you peace of mind. It's like, hey, you actually don't need to fix that. You're solid. But the opposite of that, somebody circles an 8, 9, or 10. This happens a lot in tax, Walter. Oh, we're at 8, 9, or 10. We start going through our checklist. It quickly becomes a 2, 3, or 4. Not always, but it's pretty common because of the tax situation is so integral and it's so complex, but they're all woven together. So again, if you feel like your level of concern is higher than you want it to be, you're not as prepared as you want to be, that would be an indication to reach out, get on our calendar, a complimentary assessment. We'll walk through this, confirm the numbers. And most importantly, if there are things in there that need to be fixed, we'll talk about what does it look like to fix that. And then it's up to you if you want to fix that or let it go. And that's what we do when prospective family reaches out to us or prospective person reaches out. We'll walk them through this very structured process. And again, it's either a second set of eyes to confirm, hey, you're good, or yes, you do need help. What does that look like? And here's what you should do next.
Great breakdown. I really like that. I think it's important to highlight that being honest with yourself element as you fill this out too. Whenever I'm in charge of hiring, Scott, right? So whenever I hire someone, to a new publisher or announcer or broadcaster, whatever it may be, I always ask a series during the interview of kind of rapid fire questions, asking the person to rate themselves on various related skills between 1 and 10, similar to this. I like your no 7s though, because I'm going to use that in the future because you do get some 7s. But it's interesting because a lot of people rate themselves 10 on certain things. And I'm like, and I say beforehand, 10, you better be expert. Like I can't teach you anything about this program or about this process. So don't say 10 unless you're a true expert at it. Yeah. And when they go 10, I'm like, okay, well, here's the test.
Here it comes.
And not that yours is going to be intimidating in that fashion, but I think it's helpful to be really honest with yourself and say, oh, I know a lot about it, but I might be missing a few things. I haven't read all the tax books out there. That kind of thing.
Oh, our magic spreadsheet that you built on your own doesn't have all the tax impact, doesn't talk about IRMA, talk about all those things. So yeah, it's, again, the world of retirement planning and finance is interesting. There's so many resources, and it really comes down to, people come to us for three reasons as we wrap it up for today. Some people are extremely concerned, and what they really need is someone to let them know really where they are and are they going to be okay? So that's the first level. Why someone would reach out, they're concerned, that they want that. Some people want confirmation. And those of you who are do-it-yourselfers, they think they're doing it right, but they want us to confirm they're doing it right. Okay. And then the third person, so again, we have concerned. We want people that want confirmation. And then the other person are just, hey, we're curious. Are we on track? Are we going to be okay? And they feel like they're doing pretty good, but they just want a second set of eyes to be on there. And again, this assessment applies to all three of those. And ultimately, assessing those situations and then really, most importantly, giving you a game plan of how to move forward.
Excellent and great breakdown once again today, Scott. So there you go. If you want to go through this process of assessing yourself, check out the link that we have in the description of today's show. We have this this graphic as a PDF, so you can download it, print it out, have it as a reference point for as you're kind of trying to figure out where you rank in these different areas. And again, the more things that you're circling in the red and the yellow, the more urgent it would be to get some of that help. Again, whether that be with Scott and his team or some other professional. But we definitely encourage you to get that help if you're circling a lot more reds and yellows than those greens. If you want to reach out to Scott and his team directly, it's really easy to do so. We've got all the contact information in the description of today's show. The phone number's on the screen. You can go to listentoscott.com, click the contact button there. You can schedule a complimentary call in the link in the description today as well, right from your smartphone or computer. Pick out a date that works for you. Schedule a 15-minute call to see if you're a good fit to work with one another. It's pretty easy to get in touch and take those first steps. So definitely do that today while you're thinking about it. Scott, thanks for presenting this assessment to us and for the great breakdown of all of it. And we'll talk again soon.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Walter.
We'll see everybody next time on Your Retirement Elevated.
Are you on the path to retirement but feel uncertain about your direction? Don't let myths and misconceptions cloud your journey. Before stepping into a lengthy retirement, gain clarity and confidence with a complimentary financial review. Schedule a conversation with Scott Dugan. It's completely free. Just click the link in the description below or call us at 913-393-4724. Let's start a conversation about what's most important to you as you plan for a successful retirement.
This video has been prepared for educational and marketing purposes only. The information in this video is general in nature, does not constitute personalized investment advice, and does not provide a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. All investments involve risk, and different types of investments involve varying degrees of risk. There can be no assurance that any specific investment strategy will be profitable or suitable to you. Additionally, although information presented in this video is believed to be factual and up to date, we do not guarantee its accuracy. You should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation and should consult a professional advisor before implementing any of the strategies mentioned in this video. Investment advisory services are offered through Elevated Capital Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC. Registration as an investment advisor does not constitute an endorsement of Elevated Capital Advisors LLC by securities regulators, nor does it indicate that the firm has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Insurance advice and products may be offered by a third-party insurance producer, which may be affiliated with Elevated Retirement Group LLC and Elevated Capital Advisors LLC. Walter Storholt and Third Wheel Media LLC receive compensation for their assistance in preparing and hosting this video.